You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. Minor Family Dentistry would like to bring you the following dental health tip. It's recommended to have a dental checkup no later than your child's first birthday. An adult should brush for a young child and monitor older children's brushing to ensure a good job is done. Flossing should start when teeth are touching. Minor Family Dentistry wishes you good dental health. Families, including children of all ages, are welcome. Minor Family Dentistry, 1010 Downing and Hayes. Find them in the Next Tech directory.
So, you think you have skeletons in your closet? Come to Sternberg Museum, where we let our skeletons out of the closet.
Hello, and welcome to You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. My name is Dana Stanton, and I'm the coordinator of the West Central Kansas Smart Start program. And with me today is Lindy McDaniel. Welcome, Lindy.
Hi, I would like to tell a little bit about myself. I'm Lindy McDaniel, like she has said, and I teach with special ed here in the Hayes School District, teach preschool children, and in the past few years I've been fortunate enough to learn about conscious discipline, and I've been practicing it in my classroom and as a parent for about 5 years now.
Now, conscious discipline sounds like something that all parents need to know about, because I don't know if I'm so conscious with my discipline sometimes. So what is conscious discipline?
Good question. Conscious discipline is where parents are able to parent using response instead of reacting to their child's behaviors.
Okay. Now, what is, there's lots of behavior, discipline programs out there. What's the difference between conscious discipline and, something else that you might have heard about?
Conscious discipline is different in that it talks and it works through the brain. So it helps us discipline with love and teaching rather than fear. Mm-hmm. For example, if you're in Walmart, you might see lots of parents having issues or problems with their child wanting to stay in the cart. Mm-hmm. Well, in that moment of a tantrum, a parent often gets fearful and says, "Oh, what do I do? Everybody's looking at me." Well, when in reality...
Did you see me in Walmart? That's what happened.
No, probably myself,
okay.
Actually. But anyways, you get really fearful and you think, "Oh my goodness, I have to get my kid to stop. I'm the one in charge. Everyone's looking at me." When in reality, they're probably not looking at you. They're probably simply saying, "Oh, thank goodness that's not me." Mm-hmm. But what you can do is if you stay in the frontal lobe of your brain versus the brainstem where the child is during their tantrum, and by taking a deep breath in, then you may access your frontal lobe and be able to problem solve better. And when you do that, you can offer choices to your child. You can empathize with your child. For example, you might say, "Oh, I know it's tough. You don't want to sit in the cart. But right now, it's mommy's job to keep you safe. You need to sit in the cart so you are safe. You may choose the front or the back of the cart." Mm-hmm. And that's not always going to work, of course. Mm-hmm. However, if you have the skills of conscious discipline, you're able to take a deep breath and also help your child take some deep breaths and calm with them. Mm-hmm. You may have to repeat that phrase again. You can sit in the front or the back, but you're going to stay calm, and eventually you may have to put them in. But then you're okay with saying, "Hey, this is a teaching moment. It's okay if my child's upset at this point because he's going to learn for next time." Mm-hmm. So that's what conscious discipline is about.
So it sounds like it could be a tool to help you when your child is, I hate to use the word out of control, but sometimes if you've got a little one, they get that way. So it's almost a calming technique you could use.
Exactly. And when we know a little bit about the brain, we know that most kiddos are in their brainstem most of the time. Mm-hmm. So that's why when you're a 2-year-old, you're seeing lots of tantrums because they're in the brainstem. They aren't able to function outside of that. But as the adult, we can lend them our frontal lobes or our limbic systems and help them kind of react in a more positive way. Mm-hmm. So.
Now, are there hints or tools or things that a parent can do to try to use conscious discipline?
Absolutely. In my classroom and at home, we use the 4 icons for conscious discipline, and you can find those on the Conscious Discipline website, and I have them with me here today. It's the star, the drain, the balloon, and the pretzel. And when you teach your child these breathing icons, they're able to image or get that image in their brain, because often kids don't have a picture in their mind of what they need to be doing, and that's how they think, is in pictures. So the star is an acronym for smile, take a deep breath, and relax. And the drain is putting your hands up and draining them out. The balloon is hands on your head. And then the pretzel is where you would stand up, put one hand over this way, one hand over this way, cross your legs, and then put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. And interestingly enough, Becky Bailey, who does Conscious Discipline, will tell you that the pretzel, if you can't fall asleep at night, if you sit in bed and do the pretzel, you will fall asleep. And you do. So you might try that.
That's a good thing.
So, but the thing is it's important to teach these discipline techniques and the breathing icons when your child's in a calm state. If I say to my son, be a star, and he's in an upset state, he's going to say, nuh-uh, mama. So instead, you want to teach them in calming times. Like we do our breathing rituals right before we brush teeth, so he can look in the mirror and do them, or we do them in the car possibly, so that he can practice them before we're going somewhere that he might get anxious, or I might get anxious because he's with me and not know what to do if he does have a tantrum. So you don't want to teach them necessarily in the moment of an upset, but you want to teach them prior to the upset. My son, he doesn't even like them in the moment of an upset. Instead, if I take a deep breath, then he, in turn, knows to take a deep breath. But if I say, be a star, he was like, no way. But if I breathe, because he's been trained with these, he's able to do the breathing. Just this weekend, he was breathing before I was even breathing. You know, we were both upset and flustered about something, and I noticed him taking deep breaths, and I was like, oh, he's got it, you know. Yes. And interestingly enough, infants, when they're born, they breathe automatically. You'll see them do the yawning with their breathing when they're really little, and over time, as stress in life happens, you tend to not always want to breathe. You almost stop breathing when you're anxious, and so it's important to remember to breathe.
Now, you've brought some neat things here on the side. I need you to tell us all what these are over here.
These are our calming bottles, and this one is used just to look at and see calm. And this one, you don't fill up. You fill up the entire thing so that it doesn't get kind of mixed up. But this one, there's some space in it. And so on this one, I'll talk to my child or my preschoolers about, you know, this is what our insides of our body look like when we're calm and everything is flowing and we're happy. But sometimes we get really upset or angry. And if that's the case, our bodies start to get frazzled and kind of shake. And, and look at all those bubbles. And they just look, so upset. And then we'll breathe through that. So we'll take deep breaths. That's what our bodies look like when they're upset and angry and flustered. But you can also make your body nice and calm by taking deep breaths. And the kids in the classroom or in my home will just take a deep breath until they see the two separate again in our calm body. So I'm going to show parents today how to make one of those. And it's real simple. You'll just take a bottle of oil. Make sure you get the label off the outside. And open it. Maybe.
It's okay. That happens to all of us.
Didn't even think about that.
It only happens when you're on TV. That's okay.
Okay. And then you'll pour over half of it out. And you can actually make two bottles. You could make one in a water bottle as well as this. And then I often like to use the color red because red kind of insinuates anger. But you could use whatever your kid's favorite color is or let them make it. And then you're going to put the food coloring in the water. And kind of let them stir it up. And then add it to your bottle.
And we'll test to see if we spill.
Yes. And then when you're done, of course I spill. When you're finished, you always want to put some hot glue in the lid so that your kids can use it and play with it. It's not going to make a mess in your house. Yes. So, but there you go. You have your relaxation bottle, and you can work on relaxing at home.
Well, wonderful. Now, these sound like skills that a child can learn as, you know, an infant, a toddler, a preschooler, and then use throughout their lives, the calming techniques.
Absolutely. Yep.
Now, if someone wants more information on conscious discipline or, you know, has a question for you, is there a website they can go to or a number they can call?
Sure. If you would like, you can access the website for consciousdiscipline.com. Or another great resource is just the textbook. This is the parent version. There's a parent version and there's a teacher version. The parent version runs about $13. It's Easy to Love, Difficult to Discipline by Becky Bailey. And there's also a teacher version that's called Conscious Discipline. But they could also contact me. I work at Wilson Elementary, so they're welcome to do that as well.
What's the phone number there?
You're going to test me.
You know what? We'll put it on the bottom of the screen. So
I think I know it. 623-2550.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lindy. Wonderful information. Parents, you've been watching You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. Parents, remember you are your child's first and best teacher. Thank you.
Thanks for watching You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You can watch the program weekdays in the noon and 9 o'clock hours. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.